Hey guys, how you doing? Got my dog. Well, let me see if she'll stay. You gonna stay? You'll stay. Come on. You're the cute factor.
It's an Ant-Man review, but this is Cuddles being cute.
Yeah, we have to have Cuddles in this video. She was staying in our last take, so let's hope she stays again. We'll show you her in the end. She's being okay now.
Yay.
So anyways, so we're gonna talk about Ant-Man because we saw it. And just give a general idea what the movie is. First of all, let me say that we're gonna have a non-spoilers portion, then warn you when we're gonna have spoilers. So look forward to that. So let's talk about what the movie's about. It is about this guy named Scott Lang. He's an ex-con, and yeah, he's an ex-con. But he wants to do the right things. He's a cat burglar. Cuddles is gonna. No, she's staying.
Stay out? No,
nope, she's gone. But at least you got to see her a little bit. But yes, he is an ex-con, and we have Hank Pym who finds him and wants him to be Ant-Man and utilize the suit. So I won't give any spoilers, but that's kind of the gist of the movie.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our non-spoilers, what we liked and didn't like, and then we'll go into spoilers. So, what did you like?
I'm gonna once again say the graphics are really cool. Paul Rudd, hey Cuddles. Paul Rudd was great as Scott. I can't remember who was playing the lead woman, Hope. The actress's name.
Lily something.
She was cool.
Yeah.
Even though I felt like her hair was a wig, I
think it's more a reference to what Wasp looks like in the comics, but it did kind of look weird. Live action.
It just felt. I mean, it's a good haircut. I remember when that haircut was very popular. When that like specific bob was like very in, so it's kind of funny seeing it. So it could have just been my brain going, "Why is this the haircut of the movie?" I don't know why that mattered. But she was really cool. Paul Rudd was very on point. I just read the Ant-Man annual, so he was very on point.
Came out this week.
Yeah, the 15th. Very funny. I liked that. The humor was really entertaining. They played with the fact it's Ant-Man. He just has ant. Like, it was kind of stupid. It wasn't like purposely stupid, but I like they kind of made fun of the fact that he's Ant-Man. He's literally just using ants to save the day, and it was kind of fun and cute. And I like that he just asked a lot of questions, and it was good questions because like that's what you should do.
No, yeah.
When you're sitting like, hey, I need you to do this thing, and you're like, do it. How did I?
The humor was really good.
Really
I thought Scott's personality was really good. Anything else you really liked about it?
Even though the villain wasn't that impressive, I did like him just because I know the actor from other things, and I'm like, it's good to see you be.
Like you like the actor, but
yeah. Even though his villain was really stupid, but like, it was a throwaway villain. But hey, that's what most of like. So was the first Iron Man villain. He wasn't really that impressive either in his suit. Like just saying, like villain wise, like compared to the ones they get later on, it's kind of like here's your intro villain.
I see what you're saying.
When you get a sequel, you'll get a cooler villain, hopefully.
See what you're saying there. But yeah, things I liked about it is as a comic book fan, I really enjoyed Scott. I thought he was really portrayed really well by Paul Rudd. Now something I was really nervous about, but I think they portrayed him very well, or at least he portrayed Scott very well. They got the humor right. I think they got the heart right for Cassie and how much he cares about his daughter, which obviously is going to be a big part of this review. Because I am a huge Cassie Lang fan and a Stature fan, a Young Avengers fan. And other things I liked the visuals, like you were saying. I liked the way they did the shrinking, and that it was a heist movie. It was a different genre, even though it kind of looks like other Marvel movies, and some of the structure is like other Marvel movies. It's still kind of different with genre. That it was a heist film, and his friends are kind of cool.
Yeah, they were fun.
Another thing I really liked is again Hank was really in character, even though he's old. He is in character, which I thought was great. Something about Hank, I feel like he tries to do the right thing, but really turns off people. Because he tries, and they did that really well with the movie with his daughter. I enjoyed that. And of course it's in different areas in the comics that he tries to do the right thing, but ends up really doing wrong things. And pushing Janet away in the comics because of it. And really pushed kind of Janet away in the movie too. Which we'll talk about obviously more in the spoilers portion. And
I remember something else. Peggy just...
Yeah, Peggy was in
it for a second, and I like tried not to squeal out of happiness.
Peggy Carter was in it. The makeup was really good for her, so that was interesting. And yeah, Cassie was on par.
Yes, she was an adorable child. I don't know enough about her, but I will when you maybe the things. But like, she was so freaking adorable, and also the stepdad was really cool. He was a villain in Boarding Empire, like a season before the ending. So I was like, oh, you're actually pretty cool when you're not playing a horrible, horrible human being. Like, he was a cool cop dude.
They did the family aspect really well, which is something, I personally love in superhero films, is that or in not superhero films, an aspect that I like in different films would be a family aspect, and something I like in the superhero genre is when they're able to mix that and really show this is a regular guy that you know just wants to like protect his family and just want to be a good father. And I really enjoyed that, and you saw how much he cared for Cassie. But going back to it, I really liked how they portrayed Maggie, which is Peggy in the comics, which I'm sure they just didn't want to confuse with Peggy Carter. And, you know, the stepfather. I thought they did that really well. If you've read Young Avengers, it probably means a bit more to you, like it does to me. But yeah, I agree. That was a really good aspect of the movie. And Cassie was like, again, she was just so much like her character in the comics, and she was only 5 years old. But you could totally see that she's going to maybe become something else, which again, I'll probably talk more in the spoilers slash speculation section. But what did anything else you liked, or do you want to go to the dislikes?
Cassie was just freaking adorable. I like when they take tiny children in movies and actually make them useful.
Yeah, she had a character.
She had a character, and like the little one in Iron Man 3, who was the dude that Iron Man uses as a little
Oh, yeah.
Like that kid. I like when they take the wise-ass kids and like actually put them in the forefront, and they're not just like, oh, look, they have a kid.
Yeah, and I think with Cassie also, I mean, it just showed like how unique her character is, and like how cool she is as a teenage girl when she will become one. Is like, yeah, of course, she doesn't want the regular Barbie doll. She wants the little one that looks like a monster.
She wants the thing that was really ugly.
Yeah, and she likes petting ants. And
she's still a weird little kid, but it's cute weird.
It shows her personality really well. And again, only as 5 years old, but it shows how much she cares for her father, and you know how proud she is of her father.
And it's like, that's what you need, because a lot of, especially with little girls in films, and just little girls, like, you're always like, oh, daddy. Like, it was cute to see that, because you don't really always see that in...
Especially superhero films. I feel like you don't really... I mean, for my complaints, I've seen Marvel films, I feel like female characters could have more screen time. Even in this movie, they could add a little bit more screen time and a little bit more to do, but I think there's so much potential with the female characters here.
Which is good. They, like, really set it up for a sequel or better... legitimate cameo parts in other films.
Yeah, definitely. So let's go into the dislikes. I guess I'll do my dislikes and you do yours. Dislikes, like I was saying, I think there's a lot of potential. There's a lot set up in this film. In spoilers portion, I'll explain a bit more about that, but there's a lot of setup. Also, I would say Darren Cross could have been a bit better. I think he was such a great villain in the comics because of Cassie's heart problem, and they didn't really do that here at all. Because Darren Cross is just evil, and he will steal a child who has a heart problem and won't care if she dies. You know, that's what they did in the comics. They didn't really do here. But, I mean, they tried to do it here. I guess that's a little bit of a complaint. But yeah, I think there's just a lot of potential. That's why there's, you know, some things I wanted to see that we didn't get to see, but it was a really good origin story, and I think the main male leads, they did really well. And also the Power-Rels, they did really well with Hope and Hank and Scott and Cassie. And we'll go into my speculations of where I think Cassie's going to go as maybe a hero. But yeah, I really liked the parallels between those characters. So not a lot of dislikes, honestly. I had fun. I had fun with this movie. So dislikes.
I'm gonna say it's not really the movie as much for the crowd, because we had a lot of children, so like I missed certain things because there were little children crying while you bring your baby to this movie. It's kind of confusing.
There's a lot of little kids in our
theater. Like a lot of little kids. Some of their cameo little comments were great, other time not so much.
It was cool how excited they were in the end of the movie. You know, that was really cool.
I liked that.
But there was some crying.
A lot of crying. The villain wasn't like that memorable. I guess if I read the comic, I read the comic, would have been like, yes, it's him, but inside I was like, not so much.
Yeah.
You kind of sucked. It's just a throwaway villain, but also, it's not that it wasn't a dislike, it was more of a like the Hydra thing.
Yeah, exactly. There was
not
some
really a spoiler, but just kind of.
But yeah, so those are some dislikes or non-spoilers. So we are going to go into spoiler sections. If you don't want to know anything about the movie, just stop here and then, you know, come back when you see the movie. So spoilers, I want to talk a bit about Cassie, like, as I've been saying, you know, it's a character I really like, and I think they portrayed very well, and where I think she has possibilities to go. I think they really show that Cassie obviously likes the hero idea, and I feel like she could, you know, be taking some of the Pym particles like she did in the Young Avengers movie, and maybe become Stature. I feel like they really set her origins as much as they set Scott's origins of, like, her family aspect and how much she likes her father and loves her father. So that's something I really see, and I see more of a female-driven movie in Ant-Man too. If they maybe skip some years, or possibilities of other films, or other TV miniseries, like maybe a Hank and Wasp series to see what they did in the 1980s. Also, Young Avengers. There's so many possibilities now with maybe Kate being Hawkeye's daughter instead of, you know, Kate being Kate Bishop. Or they could do Kate Bishop. I would still love that because I love Kate Bishop too.
Fantastic Arden show.
Yeah, that'd be great. Anything. So yeah, I would like to see a Young Avengers movie or TV show. That's my speculation, which I think they set up very well here. I can see that in future movies. And you have any same thing about Cassie?
It's not really an Ant-Man speculation. It's a weird combo because I know he's in Civil War, and I'm excited to see him in Civil War now that I actually liked the movie. Before I was like, God, why is he in the movie? I knew he needed to be part of Civil War, but it's nice to see it. And I'm curious to see how they'll bring Cassie into it.
I hope they do.
I hope they do.
There's possibilities.
They could still bring the heart thing in later. They could do some weird traumatized thing, like after something happened. I don't know. They could be some weird when she hides in the closet. It could be like, I don't know, like it's a traumatizing event. It could, I don't really know how.
Or it could be, you know, it could put her into action even more. It's like, hey, I saw how cool that was.
It could put her into action, and it could be like, it could trigger the weird heart things. Not like her being like, oh God, I don't want to do this, but like, oh man, my heart is messed up, and I want to do things.
I mean, I hope.
Not that a 5-year-old would say that, but you never know.
We'll see. Hopefully, we'll see her grow up and become a teenager. And I mean, I think they kind of passed the heart stage because that was when she was younger.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to go that route, which is fine. I just hope they go the stature route. That's something I want. And they kind of made the basis of that here. Let's talk about Wasp. I think that's a big thing too. We get to see Hope become kind of Wasp in the end.
At least get the costume.
And we know that Janet was Wasp, which was cool, and I'm glad they showed a scene of that. And I'm really excited about that in the second movie.
Yeah.
Disappointed by Hope being the love interest, because that's such a Marvel trope. I'm like, oh, why do you have to do that? That was not needed.
It was funny because the way they played it off, but like we didn't really see them kiss. We just saw them like break apart, but you knew it obviously happened. And I was saying in the car, it would have been funnier if you just slapped him, and he would have been like, oh, okay. Yeah, like he would have been cool. He would have been cool with it. He seems like he would have been like, ah, screw you, I'm better than you. He would have been like, I read this wrong, my bad. And like ran down the steps.
Yeah, I kind of wish they kind of played off it a bit more, because I feel like that's such a trope in every movie. Is of course the woman has to support the guy and be the love interest.
She was like,
she was badass, but I want her to have
could have been more. It could have been so much more. But instead of just her like, I'm gonna kick his ass, and like the funny scene when he's like fixing his wounds and she's just like checking out his six-pack. It's like, yeah, he did work out. Good for Paul Rudd. Like, good for you. I would stop and stare too. But,
yeah, exactly. Like I like that scene.
Like, it was funny, but like it didn't. Not that I get, because it was her kind of like you showing her like warming up to him, not just being like the petty thief. But it didn't need to be a love interest. It could have been really funny if it wasn't, because I kind of like, I want him to hopefully get a happy life with his wife and like kid.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen.
I doubt it's gonna happen, but my brain was like, no, get back together. Like my brain was like, divorce parent thing, go be cute.
I don't think it'll happen. Sorry about that. I don't think that'll happen with Peggy / Maggie.
Totally doubt it, but like little girl can.
Yeah, of course. You always have hope, but talking about hope though. I think they did pretty well with their personality, of course, missing her mom and everything, but I just feel like the love interest thing kind of just puts her in this bubble of this two-dimensional character that I hope they could flesh out in other movies or in a sequel, because I think she has such potential, and Wasp is such a cool character, so hopefully they can explore that. Other speculations you're saying about...
Not a speculation, but I love that when they kept on making things get larger, and they had his Thomas the Toy Truck train literally put a hole through the house.
Yeah.
I just thought that was cool. I liked the effects that they did for that. Like,
there's a lot of good, cool, like, pop culture references.
Yeah.
Like, here's Thomas the Train.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Spoiler-wise, I'm trying to think if there's any other spoilers I want to talk about. It was cool. We saw a Spider-Man reference. That was awesome. We know he exists in the world now.
The whole comment, the way Louis?
Oh, yeah. I think it was Louise, something like that.
I'm saying his name wrong, but I love that how his friend told stories and how we saw the stories and how we had him find out about Falcon being after Ant-Man, which I thought was really funny, because now it'll be great, because that means he's going to be, when they finally see each other again in Civil War, he's going to be like, you kicked my ass, and he's going to be like, oh crap, Cap's here. Like, he says a line like, whatever you do, don't tell Cap. Like, I don't want Cap to know about this. So I can't wait to have him be like, so this is the guy that kicked your ass? Like,
Falcon was a cool cameo.
I'm very happy that Anthony Mackie got that cameo. I'm a big fan. Like, I thought that was all very cute, so it was nice to see. I'm excited to see the Falcon and Ant-Man conversations in the Civil War.
Yeah.
See how that friendship will probably form.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Scott in general more in Avengers. I think that's going to be really cool. And yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, the ending credit scene, I feel like
Can we talk about it?
Yeah. I mean, spoiler portion now. I think we all knew it was coming.
Because it was coming, but it was so nice to see. Like,
yeah, it was cool though.
I didn't think I was ready. I had a feeling that was going to be it, and I saw something about Bucky being in it on Tumblr, and then instantly deleted, like, got rid of that post to make sure, because someone's like, we thought we were ready, but we weren't, and then I saw the tags, and I was like, shit. So I wasn't sure I didn't know when he was going to cameo. So I was very excited when that was him, and I was so sad, because he just, like, what is he doing? Is he fixing an engine? Is he just like, what is that? Why is he here? And they're like, oh man, we're on our own, and my theory is that it's going to be Stark being like, screw Winter Soldier, he killed my family, and if it's I want him arrested or put up for the charges, like all the deaths that he did, and Steve's gonna be like, no, it's my best friend, it wasn't his fault, and it's gonna be great. At least that's my idea.
Well, in the comics, it's more about like these C-list C-list heroes doing something really bad. I'm not gonna spoil it for you.
No, I remember seeing it from when I read the Frontline thing about the explosion.
Yeah, it's an explosion. So in the comics, that's what happens, and you know, there's a split. It's like, oh, what do we do? Do we do registration? Do we not do registration? So it seems like instead of having those heroes, it'll maybe be Winter Soldier. It'll be like, do we want him? Registration, non-registration.
Like, I know the registration gotta be, like, it's gotta be part of it. Like, I know that it is. I'm just curious to see how they'll do it, and I'm really excited and worried for Bucky, because we know he's gotta be Cap soon, because Chris Evans isn't contract-wise any more films.
Yeah.
I know he'll pop up. You know he's gonna come back, like, you know he's gonna be like, we're offering you so much money, you know he's gonna beat Cap again. But I'm really excited to see Bucky take up that role and see the rift between everyone.
Or you may never know. It could be
I'm hoping
Sam.
I'm hoping it's Sam, but I feel like
he is Captain America
right now. But I'm curious to see how they'll do it.
Yeah,
because I feel like it's still very popular and people want it, but I don't know if Marvel will be like, yes, let's make our random token character that we just put into the film that everyone loves. So I feel like maybe they will. And I'm curious to see what they'll do with Bucky, because he has more contracts. He literally has like 6 more films at least.
Yeah, it'll be cool. Again, I'm not a huge Captain America fan, so I guess I don't care about those speculations as much, because I'll just see it when the movie comes out. Yeah. But yeah, you know, I thought this movie did really well setting up Civil War. It was just a really good origin story, and I kind of missed that from Marvel. We haven't really seen a fun movie like that. Obviously, it's building up to the universe. Yeah. It's never just like, hey, here's a family guy who wants to do the right thing. And that's something I really enjoyed. It felt like more of a street level hero, and I personally love Secret Identity stuff. I love where you can see, here's Scott Lang, but this is him as Ant-Man, and I think they did that really well here, and I think they really portrayed the characters very well, and there's a lot of potential for so many characters in this film, and I guess building the universe of Ant-Man. So for me, this is one of my favorite Marvel movies, actually. I think it was simple enough, and that's kind of what I liked about it. It was simple. It didn't concentrate so much on action. It concentrated more on the characters, and that's kind of what I miss. As much as I like the Avengers films, it's always so much like, oh, here's this big world, here's everyone doing this stuff. It's always like, this is just simple, and I like that. So overall, I give Ant-Man 4.5 stars. Is it perfect? No, I do think they could have done more with casting, maybe reference a bit more, which is 5, and maybe a little bit more with Hope, and just more of the girl power, but I could see that happening more in the future. So 4.5 for me. How about you?
Before you were rating, I'm entertained that we now literally have had 2 Marvel movies that were basically just setup films.
Yeah,
we literally had 2 of them in a row. Like, not like, because we've had so many of them being like, oh yeah, not that like Guardians, like I know they're all technically setups for future films, but now this is literally the 2nd time in a row, literally in the same year. Literally in the same year, not that far apart from each other, being setups for their future films. So
Civil War,
blatantly, not that little from knowing it from you now, pretty blatantly, but still fun movies. But like Age of Ultron, really fun. Literally an entire setup movie for Civil War. What did Ant-Man do? Introduce Ant-Man to throw him into Civil War.
Civil War better be good.
It better be. My God, nah, I'm gonna be so angry. But anyway, I'm gonna give it a 5 because I went in with no expectations except for the fact that I knew Paul Rudd was gonna be really funny. So those weren't really expectation. That was just a fact. I knew he was going to be funny, even if he had a crappy script. He himself was going to be funny.
He's a good actor.
He's a good actor, so I knew I was going to be entertained. But I'm going to get a 5 because I went in with no expectations and then ended up really loving it. I do agree with you. I wanted more girl power because who doesn't want more girl power at this point?
And Marvel's movies have been lacking a bit, in my opinion.
They're lacking in that, but they're getting there. But now, come on, you have.
And the best way to put it, not girl power. I want to say good character development for women in Marvel movies.
Equal balance of the men and women,
not just badass characters.
Yeah, literally the equal balance of men being and women just being equally as strong and smart
and having story
and developed.
Yeah, having story is important.
Like Peggy gets her story, and now we shows her TV
Peggy's
show.
like the only.
She's literally the only one that really isn't because like everyone loves Haley Atwell, and we should because she's a beautiful treasure and should be cherished. But like, she has her TV show, but like Black Widow could get something because you like implied it subtly in the Red Room for that one. But like you could do more of that, like give her her own film,
other female heroes, give us a Young Avengers movie.
You have so many female characters you can literally just throw onto screen, and people will see it. Because
I think Jessica Jones will prove that. when it comes out.
Better.
So because you have a lot of really cool female characters coming up, like Hellcat. Jessica Jones in general.
Yeah.
So, hopefully in the next couple of years we'll see that more with Marvel, and there's so much potential in Ant-Man, which I'm really happy about. But it could have been a little bit more.
What's sad is like they know it. They know where the demographic. When you looked at, there's a demographic for like how many women saw Age of Ultron, like in ticket. I don't know how they did the ticket sales, but either way, it was a really majority of it, at least 40 or 50%.
That's crazy.
Huge.
It's great.
Part of it was women going to see it. They're like, oh, it's because of hot guys. No, we're going because we're fans.
Yeah.
And we
are
two girls like talking about this movie that we saw, and we want more girl power. Obviously, the want is there, Marvel. You know you have it.
And guys like girl power too.
Girl power too. Like not just like of course girls want it, but so do guys. Like cool. That means equal. That just means oh my god, more women on the screen for everyone to ogle at. Everyone can ogle at everything. Let them go ogle. Let them go to get developed. Let them ogle and be happy.
I totally agree. And that's I know is a little bit of a sidetrack, but I think it was important for this movie. It did.
Yeah.
And so that's our opinions on Ant-Man. 4.5, 5 stars. And let us know in the comments below what you thought. Hopefully you enjoyed. Of course, more Marvel movie reviews to come. Fantastic Four is next. See how that goes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. And we'll see you guys later. Go check out Mimi's channel. You can check it out.
Yeah, I'm just Morganstein17. She'll
so, I'll put that in the link. And also Mimi's writing for Comic Frontline. So you can check out her comic reviews every week if you want to check that out. So hope you enjoyed this Comic Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there's links for my comic book, like Father Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page for like Father Like Daughter. Mimi's always very impressed. I remember that. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.